Man, I hate Yakuza 6. It's such a dissatisfying ending for Kiryu's story. Oh. 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 Well, alrighty then.
You're not the man till you beat the master. You got the plan, then we get the action. I got the answers to what you're asking, but can you handle a hand to hand? If you're not advancing, there's no advantages. It bring madness, sinking up with the savages, with bad habits by the way of the dragon. A fight within, get ignited from real passion. The ties within, heavy wind. I've been traveling. Now you know me as somebody that you never knew a face. She ain't never seen a ghost to my old truth, burning through the pages of my soul, leaving no proof. Only ashes whisper for the memory of my past, but it's no use. And if I got a second chance, I had no clue. I'm in the shadows, hiding where I'm supposed to. And you probably wouldn't believe it if I told you. The only way you gonna see it if I showed you.
Walking alone, lost in the land, running from home. One chance, righting the wrongs, no one understands them. 間違っているかどうかが道しるべとなっていた頃の空はどんな色涙で流れること諦めたような悲しみさえおえつにもなることを拒んだあの時の叫びさえ僕を殺すこともできす今日ののと生かすの切らすことなく注がれるこのガスを報われるかどうかで選ぶ選択肢変わるわけないあるはずないだろバカ見るかどうかは俺次第
So, anyway, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Or as I'm just going to be calling it, Like a Dragon Gaiden, or just Gaiden, depends, we'll see. So yeah, we're just going to get right into it. So for context, I am a huge fan of the Like a Dragon / Yakuza series of games. I've played through every single one of them. I have started replaying the series even, so huge fan of the series. That's where I'm coming from, and that's frankly kind of where you're expected to be coming from for this game in particular. Most Yakuza games you can use as your first. There are some that are better than others. I'll get into that some other time. But this one in particular, it's very much like it expects you to know the other games. So yeah, and also frankly, I personally am going to be expecting you to know some stuff, or at least be okay with being spoiled on some stuff. Some light spoilers. I'll have any major spoilers actually behind the spoiler wall still. And I'm just gonna say this now, I'm gonna be trying to keep this video as brief as I can make it, but apparently I talk a lot, so we'll see how that goes. But it's just that I know with certainty I'm gonna come back to talk about the Like a Dragon series later on, so I will definitely be talking about this game as well later on. So we'll just get right into it with all of that in mind. So, first of all, I really like this game. I guess we'll just start with that. I really liked Gaiden. For those of you who don't know, Like a Dragon Gaiden, it's a game that takes place before / during Yakuza Like a Dragon, aka Yakuza 7, aka Like a Dragon 7, whatever you want to call it, because they changed the name of the series. So, it's set during that time, and it was actually initially an idea for a DLC for that game, and so it's just kind of, for a whole bunch of reasons, this was going to be kind of like just like a smaller project, and it is still definitely smaller than the other Yakuza games, but as you saw, I still spent quite a while playing it, and that's because I did all of the side quests, and spent a little bit of time with a lot of like the side activities and stuff. So yeah, you definitely are still getting a decent amount of content, even if it is a small Like a Dragon game. That is still a pretty decently sized game. In spite of that, I still really liked this game. I liked it a lot. And we're gonna start by talking about some gameplay stuff. And so first of all, the combat's great. The combat's the best that Kiryu's felt, in my opinion, at least in the Dragon engine. Like, it's fantastic. I'm not someone that's super knowledgeable on a lot of the combat stuff, because I never really like get super in the weeds on it. I'm kind of not the best. However, it felt very good to play as. I think that the agent style is very funny. I think the fact that they give him a little like whip tool and it's literally called the spider gadget, very funny.
Full of the exaggerated swagger of a
Of a 60-year-old man. It really makes you feel like a dragon. Gaiden, the man who erased his name. It's just very fun. It's really fun to play, in my opinion, you know? And that's like, I don't know, that's like all I kind of gotta say about the combat. It's just real good. It's real fun. I highly recommend trying it out. And it's definitely a fun side game, considering that the main series has shifted to turn-based combat, which I personally like a lot. However, it is still just kind of fun to go back to the more beat-em-up style. That's really all I have to say about the combat. So we're gonna get into a ton of side stuff that is relating to gameplay and or just not story stuff. So, first of all, I hate the live-action cabaret stuff. Why'd they do that? It's weird, guys. It's fucking weird. Like, first of all, I like the cabaret minigame from Yakuza 0. I don't like the older style of cabaret/hostess minigame. And it's made even worse by having just a real live-action woman doing it. It not only feels worse, it's super weird, it's super awkward. It also takes up like 20-something gigabytes, because it's like 2 hours of like 4K footage or some shit. Like, I don't know the exact numbers on that, but it's taking up like a quarter of the game's file size. It's ridiculous. Like, guys, it's weird. I really liked the Colosseum in this game. I usually don't touch the Colosseum, just personally. I'm not interested in that, as mentioned. Not a super combat-centric kind of person. Not really super, like, I enjoy it, it's good, but I don't get, like, super deep into it. So, I've never really gotten too deep in any sort of Colosseum in any of the games. But I really enjoyed the Colosseum in this one. And it helps that like the story kind of much more pushes you to be doing the Colosseum versus other games. So yeah, it's just fun. I like it. It's neat. I like that you can play as other characters. That's a fun just like addition to it. And like there's just a lot of options and stuff. It really feels good, in my opinion. I gotta stop saying that. And speaking of all of the minigame stuff, it really feels like kind of a best hits when it comes to side content, at least from the Kiryu-centric games, the main character. It felt very much like a best hits type of deal. In that same vein, it kind of felt like wish fulfillment, at least in some senses, for a lot of the people that weren't as happy about Yakuza 6 being the final Kiryu game, which, as we know now in 2023, just isn't the case at all, like in any definition of the word. But for people that were dissatisfied with that as like the ending for him, this game, it feels a lot more fan servicey in like a positive way. And I feel like it's a much more fitting ending, if that makes sense. Even though it's not the ending, he's still showing up in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So we'll see what that has in store later. The gameplay loop with the Akame network is very interesting, because the Akame network, this character here, she like runs like a whole network out of the city that you're playing in, Sotenbori, and you like have to do like side quests, and also there's like smaller like little like quick requests that you can do to improve the network, and that is used to get benefits and also partially used to progress the story. And I think that's just kind of like a nice gameplay loop, just all of that, because it ties in the side quest stuff, the Colosseum, and the main story a lot better. It incentivizes doing the other two along with the main story. I think it's good. It's a bit worrying because this game doesn't have a new game plus, so it does feel like replaying the game is going to kind of suck, because you're going to have to you're still gonna have to do like a bunch of side quests and play a bunch of the Coliseum, even if you just want to play through the story. So that's a bit unfortunate. Another random thing, love dress up Kiryu. I love that. That's such a fantastic addition. Like, I love my boy. This like 60-year-old man is my wife. I love him very much, and I love getting to dress him up. That is excellent. He is a slay. I love him. That's it. That's all I gotta say on that. It's great. Speaking of Kiryu, obviously, fucking Takuya Kuroda, his voice actor, phenomenal. As always, Kuroda does such an incredible job with Kiryu. Like, he does such a good job voicing Kiryu. It's ridiculous. And really all of the voice cast was really good in this game. It's usually not that bad, and also I don't, speak Japanese, so it's a lot harder for me to notice bad performances. But just Kuroda, fantastic. And also the voice actress for Akame, First Summer Yuika, also did a really good job. I liked her a lot. I also liked her character a lot, but we'll get into that later. The game looks great. This is honestly like the best that Like a Dragon game has looked. Like, it's just, the lighting's great. It's also just got a lot of color to it, relatively speaking. For like a game that's lifelike, it has a lot of color going on, and it's just great. Like, it's even like very noticeable from the scenes that are straight up from Yakuza Like a Dragon that were like recreated in this. It's very noticeable. It's a surprising amount of new content for this game. Like, it very much, I was frankly expecting not that much, but then they just like included a lot of new content, or at the very least a lot of new content in the Dragon engine, because the Yakuza series, Like a Dragon series, whatever you want to call it, is very much notorious for reusing stuff, content, assets, whatever, and I think that's great. That's part of why the series has been able to pump out like 13, 14 games in the past like 15 years, and they're all like really good still. So like, I'm okay with that. But it's something where it's, you kind of grow to know things, recognize stuff, and it's like, it's very interesting that like they like remade this map for Sotenbori, even though there was one that was already for the Dragon engine, but it was missing this little corner here for whatever reason. But they've added that back for this game, and as far as we know, it's not showing up in Infinite Wealth in 2 months. So it's just very interesting. And then there's like the side content stuff that's like very new and all that, and it's just kind of surprising how much new content there was, and also how much side content there was. There's a ton of side content in this game, and it's especially, as far as I know, most comparable to the Kaito Files DLC for Lost Judgment, another game made by the same studio. This game has a lot more content. Like, the story at least feels a lot longer, and there's just a ton more side content to do than that. So that's awesome. I think it's great, and I personally feel like it's worth the $50 price tag. Like, I think they were marketing it so much as being like this small side game, but like relative to the larger game industry, it is still like very much just like a full fleshed out game. So it's kind of weird, and they're releasing the big new Infinite Wealth, aka Like a Dragon 8, in 2 months from now, from when the game came out, which is ridiculous, and we'll talk about that at the end, actually. So, this game was actually made, apparently, allegedly, in 6 months, which is insane, given, like, how good it is, and how, like, it doesn't feel like it's a super tiny, like, waste of time type of thing. I think that's super impressive. I think that's really impressive. It says a lot about the studio. But yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say about the like gameplay / not story stuff. So we're gonna get into the story stuff. Wow! So, first of all, I loved all of the new main characters. Any of the returning main characters, you can assume I love them. I'm obsessed with this series. Like, it's not, there's no contest here. I loved all of the new main characters. I think Tsuruno and Shishido in particular, very fun characters. I enjoyed them a lot. I also really liked Akame, as I mentioned earlier. Really liked her. Very just enjoyable character. I wish she got to do more in the story, but I also did all of the side quests, so you get like a bit more Akame content through that. So that's nice. You know, you get to go out for drinks with her and all that, and that's just like a fun little thing. This is the case for pretty much all the new characters in this game. I really hope we get to see them again. And judging by the series' history, probably not, but also something that I will talk about in the spoiler section. Some of them are actually kind of implied to come back at some point, but we don't know when, because this game was made after Infinite Wealth, so we're assuming they're not gonna be there, you know? But we'll see eventually. And speaking of characters, just to mention him real quick, Nishitani the third. He's what a guy. He's so horny. He's so horny. I know why they did this, but why'd they do this? I think this game's story was personally my favorite execution of the kind of classic forcing Kiryu back into the Yakuza world, despite the fact that he so desperately doesn't want to. Like, I personally think this is the best execution of that. I think it not only felt the most, like, personal for Kiryu, but it also felt like the reasoning why he was being brought back was, like, the most valid, if that makes sense. So I liked that a lot. I felt the story, as mentioned, felt a lot longer than I was expecting it to be for what it was kind of being marketed as. Really, Chapter 2 is, like, the only one that I don't have anything, like, notable to talk about. There's also 5 chapters in this game, just for the record. Like, I think the first chapter was really good. I think it was, like, very linear, but it was just, like, really good, and it just kind of kept on going. Boom, 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 fight type of stuff, like... I don't know. And then there's, like, a really cool long fight at the end of it, and it's, like, it's just good shit. Oh, fuck. This is the Ultimatrix, what the fuck? I think the Daidoji faction, who's, like, kind of antagonistic, and also the side that Kiryu works for, which is exactly what I was going to talk about. I think it's very interesting. I think it's a really cool, like, morally gray faction, and it's something that, like, frankly, this series doesn't do a great job of doing. But I think the Daidoji faction worked very well. It's, like, very morally gray. They kind of are not good, but also do good stuff, and they're also, like, good, but do bad stuff. It's good. I think it's executed well. I also enjoyed the little bits that were, like, kind of directly incorporated from 7, aka Yakuza Like a Dragon. I think those were very fun moments to see from, like, a slightly different perspective. There's a little montage catching up on stuff that happened in 7, and I don't know why, I find it so funny. I don't know. Before I talk any more, I'm gonna put up a little spoiler warning. You can skip to the whatever time is on the screen, and you can jump to after I'm done talking about the spoilery stuff. So yeah, I will see you after that if you're not watching, and otherwise, let's get right back into it. So, I really liked the castle long fight in Chapter 3. I think that was super fun, and I also really liked Kiryu taking the throne of the castle. That was really hot. I'm not gonna lie. That did something to me. Yeah, just a really cool fight, and I really like that whole sequence, just, like, kind of, like, the luring out Nishitani. That's just, like, a really cool sequence. I think it's very fun. Having, like, a night on the town with the boys, and just blowing a shit ton of cash. Really cool, super fun, very fun to watch. And then the final chapter is phenomenal. The final chapter is, like, top tier Yakuza shit here, like... Just great stuff. Like, not only just a ton of fan service, and especially as someone who fucking loves Yakuza Like a Dragon, this shit was great. There was a whole lot of stuff just kind of ripped straight from that. Like, there was, like, scenes directly from that. And you also get to see my baby boy Ichiban. Great stuff. But then you also get to see, you know, other beloved characters from the series, you know, like Majima, my other wife, his brother, everyone else here. It's just, like, a very cool fight. All of, like, the fight stuff is really cool. It's just awesome. That's, like, I don't know. I don't have a better way of putting it, or a more eloquent way of putting it. It's just really cool. It's awesome, in my opinion. But yeah, so, the final boss. I think the final boss, fantastic. I honestly think Shishido, one of, if not my favorite final bosses from a Yakuza game. Like, I think he does the best balance of gameplay and story. Because, like, story-wise, he's pretty much just the final boss from 5, but better. And, like, gameplay-wise, he's also real good. Like, I think Shishido's really good boss fight, and I also just enjoyed his character throughout the game in general. But, like, I've mentioned that already. Yeah, so this boss fight, really great. Apparently he has the most health bars of any final boss in a Yakuza game now, so that's fun. It's great. He also has like 4 different phases. Like, it's so much. So, at the end of all of this, I am very excited to see what happens next with Shishido and Nishitani in particular, because they pretty explicitly allude to them coming back at some point. Unlike a lot of Yakuza antagonists, they're explicitly kind of like, yeah, like, you're, like, gonna come back at some point. And it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up what's happening, but, like, also, like, ooh, I want to see what's going on. Ooh, I'm so curious. You know? Yeah, and then the final cutscene with Kiryu seeing all of his kids, or only seeing 2 of his kids, actually. But seeing some of his kids again, and then he starts crying, and then I started crying. Yeah, no, this game was real great. This game was great. I got nothing more to say. Like, guys, if you've played Yakuza, you're playing this game. I don't know who this video's for me. That's who. We've established this, but, like, if you're into Yakuza, you're playing this game. If you're not into Yakuza, don't start with playing this game. So, like, I don't know, but it made me cry, so that's great. Anyway, yeah, that's the end of the spoilery section, and I will just kind of actually be repeating kind of what I was just saying at the very end of it, and that's pretty much just that, like, this game's great, it's awesome, it's really good. I'm sorry to have such excellent words on this game, such as good and awesome and very cool, but, like, that's the most I can say about it. Like, it's just really great, but it's also very much something where it's like, if you're into Yakuza, you're playing this game, and if you're not into Yakuza, you shouldn't start with it. And that's pretty much all I gotta say on that. But before we get to the little, like, end segment thing, there is a special demo for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is coming out in 2 months. And so I just wanted to give very, very brief thoughts on all of that. And that is pretty much just that, like, I'm so fucking excited for that game, man. I'm so excited, man. Like, oh my god, I'm really gonna lose my mind over that game. Oh my god. Yeah, like, it's just, like, even just from this little demo, it really feels like it's just gonna be Yakuza Like a Dragon, but better. And Yakuza Like a Dragon is already, like, in my top 5 favorite games. I'm so excited for this game, guys. Oh my god. But that's really all I have to say on that. Wowie. So yeah. Anyway, hi, welcome to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't actually have much else to say. This video was recorded while I was, like, almost done with editing the Spider-Man video, so hopefully this video will also be out relatively soon, and then after this I will finally get back to working on Pikmin 4 and Final Fantasy 16, and then at some point in the nearest future I will probably be finishing Mario Wonder. I've been playing that with one of my friends, so, like, that's why it's frankly not finished already. So yeah, I will see you for those 3 videos in the future. And obviously, any other games I play in the future, it's just that those are the only ones I can tell you are happening at some point. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you go play Yakuza at some point, because go play Yakuza. Yeah, go play those games. Bye!